What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Celebrate Herself podcast. As always, don't forget to post a screenshot of this on your IG story, tag me so I can repost, or tweet me a screenshot or an aesthetic pic or boomerang if you're watching or listening on your TV. Pretty soon, I think we're going to be able to have the video version of this available on more platforms. I'm not really sure if it's I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. I don't know if that's even a thing if it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, but yeah, it's in the works. So can't wait. But it's like, yeah, I've been doing this. I've been doing the videos. How is y'all's October going so far? It's Monday, the day that I'm recording this, and it's like the first full, week of the new month. And I know I say it every time, but it's just crazy how fast time flies, especially these days, and especially, as you get older, your concept of time, at least mine, is like very much distorted, I feel. Or it's like, was it distorted when I was a kid? But recently I've just been thinking about how I need something else in my life. And I have I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of time in my day sometimes where it's like I could be learning, I could be like reading something, I could be, just doing something like a hobby or something, it's like, damn, I need a hobby. Because I feel like I'm either like working or, chilling with pals or just like chilling. And it's like, especially not being in school, I feel, and I guess just being an adult in general, you just have to really take the extra effort and mile to like do stuff or like learn something new or like incorporate something new into your routine. Or like, I feel like especially with hobbies or things that you just like do for pleasure, it's so often it can just feel like a waste of time because, you're not necessarily gaining anything from it in a tangible sense, but also just like in a capitalism sense. Like, we're just always being told on social media to like monetize our hobbies, and I know that's something I've like talked about before. I'm sure you've heard about it before. I'm sure you've experienced it before. But yeah, so it's like the urge or like, yeah, the urgency isn't necessarily there as much as it is for like, oh, the gym. Like there's so much like gym fitness inspo, and it's like, yeah, obviously that's like important, but I don't know. It's like it's like the gym, like working out, moving your body is like necessary, but I feel like there's also like, people who enjoy it and it's kind of like also their hobby, and it's just like, I feel like part of the reason it's so, I don't know. It's like, obviously you need to move your body to survive, so there's that. But on top of that, it's like so, I don't know even what word to use, like promoted, because it's like you see tangible results, and then it's like you can be hotter. So it's like, it seems worthwhile. But then like something like, I don't know, reading or like learning how to play an instrument, if, you're not a musician or like you don't want to become a musician, it's not like you want to monetize this, it's just like, where's the vibes for that? Where's the like peer pressure for that? But you know what I mean? So I don't know, I've just been kind of thinking about that recently. And especially as we get into fall and winter, y'all know the vibes. For me, at least, I just always go into back on my 5 a.m. morning routine bullshit. I just like go out way less. I feel like I make more content. I'm just like back to focus. And I feel like most people can relate, you either go back to school or it's just like period, the summer's over, like the bullshitting days are over, and it's just naturally, I know at least for me, naturally, I just kind of fall into my like early nights, early mornings, that kind of vibe. And I've just really been loving that recently. It's just like, I don't know, I just don't really feel the need to go out. Or it's like, I'll want to, but then it's like, okay, what? Like, then I'm just going to be tired tomorrow, if not hungover tomorrow. And it's just like, it just doesn't even sound good. And it's really interesting to hear people's like perceptions. 2 different people told me this weekend, like, oh yeah, I've seen you've been going up. And it's like, I literally think in September I went out twice. Like, technically, if you want to count the specific times, it was more than that. Because I'm thinking, like, I went out one weekend and then I went out a day, and both of those were my friends' birthdays. But it's like, I'm literally in the house, like, and not even on something, I never go out, but just like, I feel like September I just did not really go out because I knew it was going to be my friend's birthday, then it was another friend's birthday, and it's like, okay, I know I'm going to be going out then. And since then I haven't, so it's just like so interesting people's perceptions of like you could literally post something. It's just interesting, like, what stays in people's minds, you know? But yeah, like, and I think I was talking to y'all about it, but I just feel like every time I was going out, I was just getting so tired the next day, like, to the point where it was hard to do anything. And it's not even like I was extremely hungover or anything. Like, obviously alcohol is going to affect your body if you do drink at all, but like, I was just so tired, like, just wanting to sleep all day. So I think that also was kind of like motivating me to, like, you know, listen to my body, go to sleep early. Like, I don't know, sometimes I'm like, damn, am I like wasting my youth? But then it stays in for one weekend. Am I letting my youth go to waste? But it's like everything, there's cycles in everything, you know? It's like sometimes it's like it's always gonna be there, it's always gonna come back. Like, you can always do that. I don't know. Let me know how you've been feeling though. Do you relate, or do you just kind of like go out, or are you focused, you know, kind of the same amount throughout the whole year? Do you definitely like feel those different seasons like me? Like, I woke up at 5 a.m. today and now I feel sleepy. So I'm having a little bit of cold brew. Well, let me show you my hot water. Then we have just a mini cold brew because I was like, I really don't want to be over caffeinated today. It's good. And we have the rest of my peppermint tea. I've really been, okay, well, yeah. It's now cold, that's great. But they had all this, like, it was the Whole Foods brand, but it was a pack of like so many tea bags for like $2 or $3. And I was just like, OMG, because I feel like I always needed peppermint tea. And when I was going to acupuncture, she told me to really focus on like cooling. This is just like a fun fact. If you're interested, you should, if you're interested, you should definitely go to acupuncture. I really want to go back, honestly. It's like I could. I just like have been putting it off. But it's just so interesting, like, what if you go to someone good, I guess. I feel like all the people I've gone to have been really helpful and informative and understanding, especially the last lady I went to. Like, I wanted her, like, to be my therapist or something. Like, she was just so nice and, like, just listened, you know. With that being said, she told me, you know, because I kind of went for, like, stress and anxiety and, like, I think at the time acne also. She was like, you know, you have a lot of, like, excess heat in your body, so really focusing on cooling foods, like, you know, watermelon, mint, those are, like, the main things that I actually remember. But just to, like, balance out. So, I think also with, like, the amount of, and even just in this, you know, standard American diet, and not in like a, oh my god, fast food way, but just like, you know, we do tend to have a lot of caffeine and sugar and like alcohol and processed foods. And, you know, even though I think, you know, oh, I eat healthy, it's like, okay, I still have caffeine quite often. And like, low-key, I've been having sugar a lot. Like, just, I've been adding sugar to my coffee, like, not plain sugar, but just like, you know, the syrups, it like is sugar. Just been like, fuck it, like, seriously. So it's like, yeah, let me focus on, like, let me just really try to make the effort to incorporate herbs and, like, healing foods, the cooling foods. And I feel like it really does make a difference. So that's just, like, a fun fact. Balance, you know? Or, like, if you always want cold water, it's just, like, so interesting what you learn about your body when you go. So anyway, didn't even plan to talk about that, but the peppermint tea, yeah. Um, so I made a TikTok kind of about that whole like vibe. Dude, my eyes are just like so, like I'm just like, the best way I can describe this kind of tired is like when you have to wake up early for a flight. You gotta wake up at like 3 a.m. and your alarm goes off and you're just like, I don't know why, because I just like haven't been waking up at 5 a.m. But then like I did it once and my body's like, oh yeah, let's get back to this. Like, don't set an alarm, I just wake up. Anyway, let me drink some cold brew, seriously. Trigger warning. Drinking sounds. But, you know, when you are, I know for myself at least, when I'm like finding peace, curving dudes, not going out, not drinking, you know, just really focus like in the gym and minding my own business, going to sleep early, waking up early, all of that. It can really be boring at times. And it just reminds me of that classic quote, in life you have to choose between boredom or suffering. And it's just like so true, like literally so true. Not that, I don't know, I feel like this past week I definitely experienced some of that boredom feeling, and not like I'm just like sitting around bored, but just like that, like, damn, something about going out, like having a real antic just like almost like resets me. And I think it's also just like being social in general. Like it doesn't have to be like drinking or like going to a bar or out in that sense, but just like, I don't know, this past week I really stayed in the house. Like I think I saw Sonia a couple times, but that was it. Like I just feel like, and it's like people ask me to go out and I'm just like, don't even feel like it. But then I'm like, I'm kind of bored. But it's like, would it be worth it? No. So it's like that choice. Like, do you want to go have a tea and maybe get into a bad situation, or like at the very least just like be tired tomorrow? Or do you just want to like keep minding your own business and just like trust that, you know, things will happen when they happen? Because there's definitely different zones I feel like you can be in. Like today, I just feel like on top of my game. Yeah, I'm a little like sleepy right now, but it's just that like I've already been awake for so long and I'm having some caffeine. But it's different than like being like tired, you know? It's like just kind of like right? So like sometimes I just feel really into it. Like today, like I'm like, yes, I'm gonna work, get all my stuff done. Like I got up out of my bed right away. I didn't, you know, I didn't start my day with an hour of TikTok. And I just feel that like momentum, and I feel like good about it and proud about it. And I'm restocking my fridge. And I'm like, yes, I can't wait to meal prep. I can't wait to go to the gym later. I have like some goals. It's like that new month, new week, new me energy. And then sometimes it just feels so boring, and like the days are just dragging on and you're just like, like I just don't, I don't know, not like, oh, I don't care, but just like this literally feels so boring. And I don't know, I think it's like, it's not necessarily about trying to force the positive vibes or like the momentum vibes, but more so like not beating yourself up about the boredom times, or like the just duller times, or if you just feel like off, you know. And I think for me it's always like about trusting that nothing is permanent. So like if I'm feeling down or just like bored, or like, damn, I could do some bullshit right now, but like I know I shouldn't, or like, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm not gonna feel like this forever. I will get back into it, or like there will be some tea in the future, and like, you know, yeah, but people definitely related to that. And it's just like, sometimes the best thing to do is, dude, especially now because it's Mercury retrograde, like this is just such a good time to like reflect. I went through my closet this weekend. Also, there is new stuff on my Poshmark, and I'm going to continue to update it. It's just like stuff I haven't really worn, because there's just so many things that like sometimes it's like, okay, I'm putting this on Poshmark because I just like don't wear it anymore. But this is like a lot of stuff I got recently, and it's just like, oh, I feel like a lot of the time it's like the pants are too short. Like that's really the vibe. or I wear something in an IG once. But I really did update my Poshmark, so check her out. And then I also did a fall haul, so I can't wait for my haul to get here. But I just was like, I need more basics. I need to get rid of all this stuff that's just taking up space in my closet. Like, this is just such a great Mercury retrograde activity. Like, going through stuff, out with the old, plan your new inspo. And I really just needed some new basics. Like, I just feel like there was so many things that if I just had a better jean, if I just had, a baggier black pant, or like just a white button down shirt, like there's just so many more outfits I could create with what I already have. So I just ordered some of that stuff, and I needed like a black heel with a square toe. I don't know, just like random basic stuff like that. So can't wait for that. Went through my makeup, got rid of a lot of expired stuff. Okay, also, I almost threw away my Naked palette that I've had since like 7th grade, but I was just like, I literally can't. Like, even if I never use it again, it's just like an artifact at this point. But there was a lot of makeup I did throw away that was just like expired. It's like, I'm going to use this. I found some unopened skincare that I forgot about. It's like, what? How does this happen? Like, seriously. So yeah, just doing stuff like that, but then also just like focusing on, okay, low-key, sometimes when people are like, I'm focusing on my healing, like it sounds kind of, it can only be annoying when you know that like they're annoying. Like, how do I explain? It's like if someone says, oh, I'm focusing on my healing, and it's like one of those accounts that just like tweets like, if you listen to SZA and Frank Ocean and Brent Faiyaz, we can vibe together. I just want to lay up and watch movies this October. Who's gonna focusing on my healing? It's like, what do you mean? Like, to me, that means like therapy. Like, do you know what I'm talking? It's just like, oh my god, okay. Focusing on my healing. Putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. But yeah, so those have been my vibes recently. But I'm just really excited for my content over this next month. And yeah, I low-key love this time of year just for the productive vibes and the self-growth vibes. And yeah, I just feel like I have done a lot of like self-growth this year, and that does excite me to like keep moving forward. So even if you don't feel like that, bitch, just know that it is a temporary feeling. And what did I say? I tweeted this once, and I'm like, damn, that was like deep of me. But I said, this was like when I came back from New York, I think. But I tweeted something that was like, it's crazy when you get so used to how your life, you get so used to the routine of your life, or like you get so used to your routine that you forget life can feel differently. And that is just like so true. And I think, that also kind of goes into what we were discussing like over IRL original, the OG quarantine, and how to like fill your day and like make things interesting when we were just like in the house. It's like, miss those days, honestly, when like everyone was in the house and just like minded their own business. The streets were empty. Like, wow, we really took that for granted. I wish we could go back. But yeah, like creating, like doing new things, or even things like mundane things, like taking a new route to your favorite local coffee shop, or like, going on a different walk, or like doing your routine in a different order. It just like creates new neural pathways. So, you're like spicing up your life basically. But then especially when you do big things like take a trip or travel, or like learn something new, or have a new experience, talk to someone new, like, I don't know, stuff like that. It's like exciting and fresh and fun, so your life is like spiced up. I just wanted to read over this Astrodienst newsletter because there was some interesting stuff for October. Let's take a gander. In October, the 4 planets, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, end their retrograde phases. So all of those were in retrograde, bitch. Like, this means that after an extended period of consolidation, new developments are increasingly in focus. Many things that may have been just loosely considered are now ready and able to be implemented. The next few months will show where the onward journey will lead. We love that. These are days that give reason for hope. There will be extensive communication and an increased search for agreement instead of separation, because like Libra season. Many a smoldering conflict could now be diffused or even ended through much commitment in the personal sphere as well as on the political stage. Now a longer period begins in which positive concepts of life receive stronger resonance than before. The more relaxed overall mood may also indicate a harmonious time on the relationship level. So I feel like, oh my god, when's the new moon? It was on Wednesday, so right now as I'm filming this, it hasn't happened yet, but it's about to happen. So new moon, y'all, time for those manifestations, but also I would say probably because it's at Mercury retrograde, like more so planning and not so like trying to make something happen right now, but like, researching and like low-key reflecting in the sense of like, okay, what have I learned and what can I like bring forward with me? So love to see that. Truly excited. Also, Instagram is down today. Well, for the past couple hours at least. It wasn't when I first woke up. But classic Mercury retrograde. And now I'm like, how am I supposed to talk to my crush? And how am I supposed to live my life? Because life is pointless without IG stories. It's literally still down. Like, oh, what? Boring. Anyway, so I saw this TikTok. Also, quick haul. I really don't love this lip butter, but I went on my roof this weekend, and I feel like my lips got sunburned. They did get sunburned. Even though I put SPF on them, I guess it wasn't enough. Didn't get sunburned anywhere else. Thank God. I'm heavy with the SPF. I wish we didn't have to worry about that, because I know that I can get, like not super dark, but, like, I can get really tan, but now I just never do that because I don't want the skin damage, So I just have to, like, do a fake tan. But the Bondi Sands, I love her. I just feel like it looks so natural. With that being said, SPF. This lip butter is really not good, though. I feel like it doesn't work. On the topic of being alone and, curving dudes, I had to break off a situation, and even though I knew it was for the best, it still, like, really hurt. And I guess it hurt for, like, a number of reasons. It was like, okay, I think it was like I didn't feel 100% like ready to end it, but it was like I can't deal with this anymore, and I just know for myself, like, I need to do what's best for me. And even though it's like, my heart is like, wait, it's like my brain is like, bitch. So it just hurts so bad. And then also I just think the disappointment of, like, okay, this person isn't really, like, who I thought they were, and just, like, it's just, like, I thought this was going to be different. But ultimately I had to be proud of myself because I recognized red flags, and bitch, honestly, truly, you need to, as hard as it may be, bitch, I was, like, devastated for, like, a whole day. Like, I haven't been this upset in so long. Like, what the fuck? Also, I think I was being manipulated, but, like, that's a story for another day. But, leaving at the first red flag, but not, like, I think it's, like, okay, if leaving at the first red flag in the sense of, like, if there's an issue and you bring it up to them, and they either are, like, I don't care, or they're, like, fuck you, obviously that's, like, okay, bye. I can't deal with someone who doesn't communicate. But also if they're, like, they seem to be understanding, but then, like, they say that they understand, but then their actions don't reflect that, and you keep running into the same issue, like, a couple more times, it's just, like, that to me is leaving at the first red flag, because it's, like, okay, I tried, and I mean, obviously there's, like, different red flags. It's, like, if someone literally is, like, there's, like, blatant things, and then there's just kind of more, like, low-key things. You know what I mean? But, yeah, it's, like, don't, especially in the early days of, like, getting to know someone or a relationship, if it's, like, if they're acting like this now, or, like, not willing to communicate or work on something now, it's, like, it's not going to get any better. And when you are still in that kind of like getting to know you stage, it's like you shouldn't be putting that much work and effort into keeping the relationship alive, especially if it feels like you're the only one doing it and the other person isn't like willing to, or isn't meeting you halfway, or whatever. So this kind of ties into a TikTok I saw, which was about, if basically as women, we don't need men. We don't need men. In the sense of literally, what did the girl say? Her mom was born in the 70s, and her mom like needed, basically it like wasn't that long ago that as a woman you needed a man to like co-sign on so many things. You physically couldn't like get through life, literally couldn't get through life without a man financially. But now we just have so much more opportunity, we're able to, and there's like still fucked up shit, like I think hysterectomies, and like obviously it's not like we live in like a perfect society, but compared to however many years ago, we don't need to rely on men financially to like just live our lives. But I feel like so much of like how we're socialized in dating is like as women is to overlook so many red flags, because we have this pressure, this like really, really just internalized, almost subconscious pressure to like need to be in a relationship, or to need to be, looking for a partner, even if it's not necessarily the best thing for us in our lives at this time. So I feel like we just put up with so much shit, because it really is like the society we live in, it really is a man's world. And like, you just look at anything like in sex, the way we're taught about it, just in relationship dynamics, is always just so focused on like the man, and it's like our needs and wants and everything like comes second. So if we can be aware of that and like catch ourselves, if we start to like tell ourselves like, oh, well, it's not that bad, like, well, I can overlook this, well, he was better than the last guy, or like, well, it's like, no, because like I am literally going to be fine. And it's like, that's not to shame anyone or say that it's wrong, or like, oh, any desire you have for a partner or a boyfriend or a relationship or whatever is because it's internalized. It's like, no. But when it comes to like, and I feel like a lot of it can also be like, just ourselves, like if we were always like loved in a certain way, like growing up or whatever, it's like we're going to usually like attract that, because we just think that's what love looks like, or what a relationship should look like, or whatever. So it can be a lot of things, but ultimately it's like it's better to be alone than to put up with bullshit, and it's better to leave at the first red flag than to just wait around and see if things get better, because it can really just be such a drain on like our lives and like our spirits. You can just find yourself like so just like run down after spending so much energy, like I don't know, either trying to figure out someone, or like arguing, or trying to make something work when it's just not. And that's not to say like, oh, so, just never try, or never, but it's just like, I think we all know the vibes, like when it's like, I know this isn't for me, but it's like, I'm bored, or like, what else is there to do? Or like, well, who else am I going to talk to or hang out with or whatever, or be with? It's like, that's when we need to be like, okay, like what's actually going on in me to where, I'm okay with dealing with this, or being treated like this, or like why am I scared to let go? So just like things to think about, not spawns, like don't buy it. But yeah, just a lot of like Mercury retrograde realizations for real. That's not to say that like, oh, just be alone. It's so easy, or like cut them off. Like it's just so easy. You're gonna be so much happier, because it's like, bitch, it fucking can hurt so bad still, but like, it's like, it's worth it. Me to myself, it's gonna be fine. So yeah, that's some personal tea. If you can relate or not, let me know. Let me know now. Have you had any TBTs hit you up this Mercury retrograde? Have you had any realizations? Let me know for sure, because I don't want to be the only one out here. I need to journal. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to discuss today. I'm really excited to meal prep. So we are going to do that, and hopefully IG will be back. But hope everyone is having a great week. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to IG story me a screenshot or a pic or boomerang of you listening so I can repost. Love you guys so much, and I will see you next week.